American region.
Então, acho que a pressão é normal, né? A gente vai ser o time que eu acredito que o geral quer derrubar ali. A gente é um time forte, então o geral vai focar na gente. E a gente está preparado sim, a gente vem treinando muito, como o Henrique já comentou. E é isso, estamos preparados. Se Deus quiser, vamos trazer esse Mundial.
Anything that you want to say to your fans out there ready to cheer you guys on this weekend?
Agradecer todo o suporte, toda a comunidade que apoia a gente todos os dias. A gente sabe o quão difícil foi a gente chegar aqui e pode ter certeza que a gente está sentindo toda essa energia, está sentindo todo esse apoio e é uma honra estar podendo representar o nosso país aqui. Mais uma vez, se Deus quiser, essa vez vai ser diferente de todas as outras.
É isso aí.
Vamos!
Vamos, Brasil!
Pra cima, cara!
So that was our time with galleries. Make sure that you guys stay locked in and watch what these guys are going to do all throughout the weekend here at DreamHack 2024 for Call of Duty Mobile World Championship.
Championship. We are 2 matches down. On the main stage, quite a few more have been completed over in our pit as well as things are moving along. Teams are starting to nail down potential seeding positions in the brackets, and some are starting to worry about their positions here on day number 1 already. It's a really savage day, but we swapped out our casters. We brought in some new faces. We've got Tun and Infinity joining us now for the next 2 matches. Excited to be up here now. It's a global stage.
I'm super excited to be here, and honestly, we've seen some super games so far, and I just want to see that competition continue for that, because if anything is to go by those first 2 games, I mean, some of the games in the pit as well, we've had some surprises there, which I'm sure we're going to talk about. We're setting ourselves up very, very well here on day 1.
Yeah, lots of storylines, right? Right, Infinity, I mean, coming this way, especially with Galler's doing well, and everybody kind of underestimating them a bit.
Yeah, I mean, we had that a lot, right? We were talking about the interviews, we were kind of interviewed different teams, and a lot of people said, like, you know, Gallerists are not to be underestimated. I think they just proved why in the first set of the day. I mean, we still feel that because we casted Mobile Masters and we saw what they are capable of, so I don't think the people should be underestimating those guys.
Yeah, I think everyone's going to be keeping a very close eye on them so far, but we mentioned we've had lots of action happening, whether that was here on the main stage or also in our pit, so we're going to take a look back at our Swiss bracket and how things have gone so far. Now, Shift obviously explained it to everybody at home, but what happens is you play against each other. If you win, you go against another team that won. If you lost, you go against another team that lost. You'll move forward in this Swiss bracket, and we're starting to see how some of these other teams have done so far, Tom.
Yeah, win 3 before you lose 3 is always the easiest way to try and contemplate it in your brain. But look, there's been some surprises in round number 1, specifically though, and Brody, I don't know if you want to touch on this one, but Vitality losing their very first game, that is crazy.
I can't believe it, honestly. I mean, Vitality, I've kind of sat with the coaching team for a little bit while I was doing my interviews yesterday, and I was seeing the amount of preparation they put into these games. To see them lose against a roster like Full Magic Petrini almost immediately is absolutely wild to me. That is a massive upset, especially considering how much we've hyped that team as the super team. I'm not too sure what maps they actually ended up losing, but I mean, just to see them lose a hard point at all is crazy.
Well, we'll keep those games going, and we'll also make sure that we keep you all updated at home with how everything's turning out. You also see LG up there against Stalwart, Q9 against Elevate later on in the team portion of the bracket that has won. As we get another chance to take a look at our amazing trophy up here on the stage. Did you guys get a chance to look at that in person? Did you see how massive it is?
It's nearly as big as Proper, to be honest. It is quite large, but yeah, it's impressive, and I love to see that we have this big stage behind us as well for all the teams that are here. It's been a really good celebration. There's so much going on in and around the stage. We've got the graffiti artists, everything like that. It's just so cool at the moment.
Yeah, and things are going to only get better every single day as we continue on in the competition. But if we're continuing on, we have to start talking about our next match. Okay, our players are starting to get ready on stage. We have match number 3 coming right at you. You saw it there on the schedule during the break. It's Gallers versus Wolves. Obviously, got to see Gallers kick things off at the top of show, Brody. It was a great matchup.
I are just such a good team, right? And, we talked about kind of the players to watch coming into this tournament. Obviously, Lucasin is kind of top of the docket for that. He delivered on that in the first match of the day. He was going off in the fire range, search and destroy with a sniper rifle. Business as usual for him. And then, of course, in the Summit hardpoint as well, just putting up the regular numbers that we expect. I do want to give some love to Mihawk, though. He's a player that's constantly underrated on this roster. He also showed out in that Summit hardpoint. So for these guys, I think, a lot of doubters out there, before we got into the tournament, maybe they wouldn't perform. They've shut people up after the first round.
I mean, we heard it in the interview as well, Ton. I think one of the biggest things was the team chemistry. They were saying that at the end of the day, they actually just have fun. And yes, it's still a tough competition, but they're laughing with each other. It's the friendship bond, and that's definitely helpful.
And I think that's super important to have in any team, in any game, really. You want to have that friendship. It makes it so much easier just to work together. Because, look, realistically, you have to put these hard hours in, and it's a lot easier if you're spending it with people that you enjoy spending time with. Not all can be said about the casting team, fair play, but at the same time, for these guys, it is just very much that important factor to have that cohesion between each other.
Well, this match is not going to get any easier for them, because on the flip side of things, they will be going up against our defending champions in Wolves. Ton, so talk to me about this roster.
I mean, they're a roster who, yes, okay, they won last year. They are a very, very talented team, but since then they've struggled to kind of get to that level since then, though. That has been the problem. Fulfilling what they were able to do last year has been a little bit difficult.
Yeah, definitely. I think that is just a crazy thing. Just how much they dominated last year, right? They only lost maps to Q9 and Godlike. Then coming into this year, they haven't won anything in their own region. They go to CDSI, and albeit they had a high placement, right? They were up there with the best of the best. They were not the best of the best. And I think that's going to irritate them coming into this tournament. They are going to be fired up to be better.
And I wonder, coming into this, is the tournament they won last year. They are defending champions. Does it give you that indication that you're coming into it in the sense of you're defending your title? Is that going to give them the extra kick up the backside, so to speak, to get their job done, to improve themselves? Have they worked on stuff? Is it this environment that they thrive in? We're going to find out very, very quickly.
Yeah, and I think the thing is as well, right, it's important to note that China has gotten a